Now back to Inside West Virginia Politics with Mark Curtis.
And we welcome you back to Inside West Virginia Politics this weekend. We have a very special guest joining us. Bill Raney is with us from Morgantown. Many of you recall that name. He's a very famous guy here in the state of West Virginia. He just retired as president of the West Virginia Coal Association. First of all, Bill, congratulations on a great career and now your retirement.
Good. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. It's been a great run. A whole lot of wonderful people helped me through those many years, and a lot of different issues and a lot of different things. So it's been absolutely wonderful.
Tell us what the Coal Association is, what it does, represents. I mean, the name is familiar to people, but I don't think the average folks know the nuts and bolts you guys do day in and day out, and especially when the legislature's in session.
Yeah, we represent the industry, the coal producing part of the industry, and all the folks that support that. And of course, in that process, you represent the best coal miners in the world that keep the industry running, and the coal mine managers. And we represent them from a regulatory standpoint or with the agencies that have something to do with regulating the industry. We certainly spend a good bit of time at the legislature attempting to make sure that the laws are there. Our objective is to make sure that all the mines in West Virginia are working, and all the coal miners and coal mine managers are working every day that they want to work, trying to make it easier for them, more economical, make sure we're competitive in West Virginia. We're the second leading coal producing state in the country, behind Wyoming. And of course, the difference there is that there's a big difference in the kind of coal that we mine here. It's bituminous here and has much higher heat value. Its BTUs are much greater. Best metallurgical coal in the world. And we have probably the best thermal coal in the world, too. So a combination of the best coal miners, best coal mine managers, best coal. And we're the closest to the East Coast ports, so we can take advantage of the export market. And people across the world know that when they order West Virginia coal, they're going to get it on time in the quantity and the quality that they want.
Talk a little bit about that. 28 years. Congratulations on that. That's a very long time. What's changed in that 28 years, and what do we expect to change now in 2021?
Well, Lord, if I could look forward, I wouldn't be sitting here, I don't guess. But you can guess at it. But the 28 years has seen a whole lot of changes, and we've gotten a lot more efficient, a lot safer, and it's just an absolutely wonderful industry that people typically don't know much about, but yet everybody knows about electricity, and they know about steel, and they know about the cars that they got, and many of the cars running around not only West Virginia but America is because West Virginia can supply the metallurgical coal to the people that make the steel that send it to the automakers, and the many other things, bridges, buildings, and whatever. So it's the idea behind that is to make sure that we're the fuel of choice for the world.
Bill, we're down to a minute in the segment. I've got to ask, because you touched on the new Biden administration. Obviously, we're going from a president who was very pro-fossil fuel to a president that thinks we need to start dialing that down and going into a different direction. What are you going to do as the Coal Association, as an industry, to make your voices heard in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think the important thing is to reinvigorate the Friends of Coal and get it active once again, with everybody recognizing how important coal is to the communities of West Virginia, to the state of West Virginia. And we need to produce about 100 million tons of coal a year at a good price, and that can help support the economy of West Virginia. And we make up, I think, about 15 to 16% of the economy right now. And we mine coal, I believe, in about 30 of our counties, 30 of our 55 counties, but everybody in the state depends on it because everybody gets a chunk of severance tax. So
I think that is a good place.
That.
I think that's a good place. I think that's a good place to stop for right there. We have a little special guest in our next segment, and Hannah Getz will join us as well. Bill Raney, thank you.
All right, thank you all.
We'll be right back.